Alright, so we just got back from camping. We had our first dry camping experience over on the Swanee just to try out some upgrades I did and test our systems, and things went really well. Our solar did really well. We saw a new peak record for wattage. We have about 570 watts installed, and we saw a peak of like almost 450. Versus just sitting in our front yard, we only saw about 350. So pretty good improvement there, but I think we still need a little more juice. Simple math is we have 12-volt system with 200 amp hours of battery. So that leaves us with 2,400 watt hours. And according to the app, we were only getting about 15 to maybe 1,600 watt hours. So it's not enough to actually fill our batteries. I'm actually going to take one of the panels I bought a little while ago and install that. So I went to Lowe's yesterday and picked up some hardware to fab up a, bracket for it. So this is actually heavily inspired by the way the hardtop is mounted on my Miata, so I'll show you that real quick. But yeah, I just went and picked up some 3/16 eye bolts and turnbuckles, that's what these are called. And then a 3/16 drill bit. So see why I need that. But the Miata hardtop is actually secured by, you can see there's a bolt coming out of the hardtop to a turnbuckle to a bolt coming out of the body. So I'm gonna kind of do the same thing to where there's one of these going to the panel, one of these going to the RV, and then these cinching it down. And then I have other brackets coming too, so I'm gonna help support those with some double-sided tape, that way it doesn't flop around or shift or anything. So I picked up these panels off Amazon back on Black Friday. Alright, so I just cleaned the front so that I have a nice clean surface to mount the brackets with double-sided tape. So while I wait for the brackets to be delivered, I'm going to work on running the wire, because it's got to run down back behind here, down along and then up through one of these ports. And I'm just going to run it up straight to this plug. And actually what I'm trying to do is just run this wire down, around, and then up through this pass through for these wires. I'm hoping that'll come up through this access panel. And then they come up right through the floor here. So here's the ground. Hot wire's gotta be down here somewhere. There you are. Cool, so then I can put the new charge controller right about here or so. Maybe somewhere. That makes it real easy to run straight over to the batteries. Alright, so I got the wires pulled through. I'm going to just cut them and strip them back. That way I can wire this. That way I can wire the circuit breaker in between the panels and the charge controller from the charge controller into the batteries. Still not sure what that's gonna look like because I gotta deal with this. Alright, so I'm kind of half-assing it here. I need to order some stuff and just kind of do it a little better, but I got the breaker wired in. This is gonna get plugged into the charge controller, and then I'm gonna run a nice thick wire from the charge controller over to bus bar. So it'll be a nice long wire coming in. Don't have quite the right setup here, but it's only one 200 watt panel, so I'm not too worried about it. I just couldn't find what I needed in short notice, so I'm gonna have to order some stuff, but I have a trip coming up this weekend, so I need to just get this working right now. So what I'm gonna do is just run a nice thick wire from the charge controller here over to the bus bar, and then from the bus bar I just picked up these terminals and a fuse holder, so I'm just gonna set up a 40 amp fuse. One panel is not gonna give me anywhere near 40 amps, so I'm not terribly worried about it, but I'll clean this up and just get a little thicker wires going here some other time. I'm gonna run the fuse here and then just throw it right on top of these for now until I can order some other stuff and pull this all off and run it off just a better bus bar setup and clean it up a little. And then of course just run the negative straight over, but the positive will have this fuse holder in between. That way there's a nice thick wire at least getting to it, and then I'll swap that out with something else thicker when I get a chance. But I think it'll work for now, and then tomorrow I can get the panel mounted because now it's dark, but then I can at least get everything wired up and ready for tomorrow morning. Well, it's connecting and updating the new charge controller. I'm not sure what was going on, but I plugged it into the house and it got power. I'm not sure why it just didn't get power from the batteries. They're completely charged. Maybe it's a safety shut off or something. But I got it just plugged into the house and that seemed to kick it on. So now got this updated. Wish I knew which one was friggin' which. Now I think I can flip this one. Alright, so we're still under our big magnolia tree. The sun should move over far enough in a little bit to come back and make sure everything's working. But for now I gotta go working stuff.